Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. And today, it's been long awaited, it's been a long time, but I'm finally returning to r/fakedisordercringe. Now, I didn't want to return, and I mentioned in previous videos that unless something specific or new happens, I probably wouldn't return. Well, something new has happened, and it's something that I can't not talk about, okay? And that's the fact that they're making up disorders now. I came across this. The subreddit Fake Disorder Cringe even has a flair now for what they're calling MUDs, or made up disorders, where people on TikTok or Tumblr or wherever they post are making up their own disorders, okay? And not only is this super disrespectful, but it's actually harmful. Unlike with the whole faking thing, where people could claim that it wasn't harmful and they weren't hurting anybody by doing it, which I disagree, but it was an argument that could be made. And also, in some cases, it couldn't be proven that they were actually faking. And I fully respect that in a lot of cases, there were very misinformed videos being posted, that kind of thing. However, there is no defense that can be made for making up disorders, okay? You cannot pretend that it's not harmful. You can't even pretend, oh, you don't know that they don't actually have this disorder. It's not a real disorder, okay? I'm going to talk in depth about why this is harmful and why this is a terrible thing, but I'm going to do that after we look at some of the posts. So stick around until then and you'll find out exactly why I think that making up disorders is actually incredibly harmful. So to start off with, oil addiction disorder, or OADTD. Oil addiction disorder is the addiction for eating oil, be it on its own or with foods. Folk might add lots of salt on their foods, eat food with lots of oil on them, or have a strong oil taste slash texture to them. This isn't a disorder, okay? Addiction is a very real thing. People can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to sugar, you know? Cravings and addictions aren't necessarily a disorder. They might be a symptom to a disorder, but they are just that. They are a symptom, okay? This is a made-up disorder. This is also followed by salt addiction disorder, or SADTD. Salt addiction disorder is the addiction for eating salt, be it on its own or with food. Yeah, the same thing, but with salt. It's not a disorder. You've made that up. It's a symptom to a disorder? Sure, there are disorders that can cause addiction and obsessiveness, whether it's with food or other things. Those are real, but this is not. This is not a real disorder, and by pushing that is harmful. It's harmful. The next one, I'm not gonna read all of these because there's like 6 of these. If you want to read the in-depth descriptions to all of these, I will show them all on screen now. But basically, they've got multiple types to this, like, Victor disorder thing, and then they have the number of people with it is unknown, but it's a very uncommon phenomenon. Future memory recall disorder can be considered a disorder because thoughts from the future, memories, and dreams are uncontrolled, sometimes distressing for the portraiter, and also because they're not always positive. Treatment. There's no known cure or treatment for future memory recall disorder, but some insomnia medications and binaural beats can help in the treatment of Victor type, removing your dreams in general. So they've made up a disorder where you can see the future? Now, this is a trend you'll see when we go through these, in that a lot of these disorders have supernatural superpowers threaded throughout them, which really just tells me exactly how much of a fantasy this is. They don't actually see disorders as disorders. They see them as this fantasy thing, this like DID they saw as this superpower where you could be multiple people, you know? This is a fantasy to them. And this just really further enforces that. Really further enforces that. The next one is Fate Syndrome. Now, this one doesn't actually describe what Fate Syndrome is. Oh, you'll notice they also all give them pride flags, which is stop. But yeah, they've got all these symptoms here. Now, I want to point out, if you are suffering from any of these symptoms, hallucinations, vomiting blood, vomiting, continuous nausea, paranoia, decreased levels of dopamine, severe nightmares, delusions, hypersexuality, insomnia, memory loss, confusion, constant headaches, autophobia / monophobia, nyctophobia, constant nosebleeds, constantly being cold, trouble breathing, feeling that someone is watching you, shivers, tactile hallucinations, ligorophobia or phonophobia, dysphoria, night's dysphoria / Knox dysphoria, short-term memory loss, constant body pain, hyperactivity. This list goes on. They've got a ton of these. Go to a doctor and get diagnosed with a legitimate issue that you very clearly have. These are all rough symptoms, bad symptoms that you need to actually get a professional diagnosis for and get real help with. Don't be diagnosing yourself with made-up disorders. That's dangerous. They also then have some ways of helping. Get a backpack. Always carry around a water bottle. I found drinking a lot of water can fight nausea and vomiting. Carry snacks. I suggest red grapes, moon grapes, raisins, nuts, or any kind of crackers, but really anything is fine as long as it's not too unhealthy. Set lots of alarms. Carry around a flashlight. Carry around batteries, chargers, portable chargers, car chargers, etc. in case you forget something somewhere. I need help about what this is actually about, because this one, there's more. Carry your phone, headphones, and current charger in a separate pocket. It causes less tangling. Carry your keys in any identification with you. Carry portable activities with you such as coloring books, sketchbooks, art supplies, and any other portable game systems. Always carry a small first aid kit. I mean, that's good advice in general. Carry a first aid kit, keep one in your car. Set many reminders. If you live alone or spend most days alone, text friends or family, or every now and then call them. I mean, that one's just, if you live alone, contact your family. In general, that's just a piece of advice that should be outside of having a disorder, but it's a made up disorder. Fake disorder is not real, and they listed dozens of symptoms that all come into many other disorders and illnesses. I think you're seeing where this goes, right? So the next one, Chronosynesthesia, is a rare and intriguing mental disorder that affects an individual's perception with time and sensory experiences. People with Chronosynesthesia have a unique and extraordinary ability to perceive time as vivid sensory events or experiences, unlike the linear progression of time that most individuals perceive. Those with Chronosynesthesia experience time as a symphony of colors, shapes, and textures. How does that work? It's time. We don't really experience time full stop. We kind of just exist in it. Like we experience now and we experience memories, but there's no feeling of time passing. It just does. I don't know how you could experience that in a symphony of colors, shapes, and textures. Once again, it's a fantasy where they're making up a disorder. Someone looked at synesthesia and was like, that's really cool. I can do better. But yeah, they go on more to describe about what it is. The impact of chronosynesthesia varies among individuals. Some may find it enriching and enjoyable, perceiving time as a multi-dimensional tapestry that adds depth and beauty to their lives. They may develop a heightened sense of mindfulness, living in the present moment and appreciating the sensory symphony that accompanies the passage of time. However, for others, chronosynesthesia can be overwhelming and disruptive. The constant barrage of sensory experiences can make it challenging to concentrate, as the perception of time becomes a constant distraction. The disorder may interfere with their ability to adhere to schedules, manage time-dependent tasks, or accurately gauge the duration of effects. You know what those symptoms are actually of? ADHD. Something that people were faking about having on TikTok previously. But like, if these are all symptoms you have, ignoring the whole bright colors and tapestry thing, if you are struggling with managing schedules, adhering to schedules, time-dependent tasks, gauging the duration of events, concentrating, all of those things, those are symptoms of other disorders like ADHD and sometimes autism and a few others. This is just someone heard about ADHD and heard about synesthesia and was like, what if I made them a Wachowski movie? Why? Once again, I'm going to talk about why this is harmful after these posts. We've got a few more to go, and by a few I mean we're about halfway. Emetographia is a unique and captivating mental disorder that affects an individual's ability to express and understand emotions through traditional means of communication. People with emetographia experience a distinct impairment in their ability to convey emotions through facial expressions, vocal tone, and body language, which are the typical channels for emotional expression. I'm pretty sure correct me if I'm wrong, that's a symptom of autism, of severe autism, right? In general, a symptom of autism is struggling to understand and read emotions, right? But also struggling to convey them is also a symptom of autism. But no, it's a mitographia now. Individuals with a mitographia find it challenging to express their emotions in a conventional manner, often appearing stoic or devoid of visible emotional cues. They may struggle to exhibit the expected facial expressions associated with joy, sadness, anger, or surprise, making it difficult for others to accurately interpret their emotional state. Autism. Instead of relying on conventional modes of expression, people with a mitographia develop a remarkable ability to channel their emotions through alternative means. They may express their feelings through abstract art using vibrant colors, intricate patterns, and unconventional brushstrokes to convey the depth and intensity of their emotions. That's just what art is. Art is just an artist conveying their emotions. Music, artwork, all of that kind of thing is just an artist coping and conveying their emotions through their art. Like it's so under researched. They put these big words, they structure this whole thing professionally and like they know what they're talking about, but it's so under researched. And there's so much to this. There's a whole second page of this. While they can pose obstacles in social interactions and may lead to misunderstandings, it also offers a unique perspective and emotional experience. They always have these upsides and like, look, it's actually, you can't say that it's a bad thing I have a disorder or whatever, like, because these disorders are actually great and I want to have them. Next one is ChronoConundrum disorder, or CCD, is a rare mental disorder characterized by a distorted perception of time. What is it with time, by the way? I think all of these people just watched Doctor Who and they were like, I could make a disorder out of this. What happens if someone stays on the TARDIS too long? A human stays on the TARDIS too long. Do they develop ChronoConundrum disorder? Disruption in the ability to accurately perceive the passage of time, leading to significant confusion and difficulties in their daily lives. Symptoms: time distortion, time loops, temporal disorientation, time fragmentation, time anxiety, temporal paralysis. Causes: the exact cause of ChronoConundrum disorder is unknown because it's not real, but it is believed to stem from a combination of genetic predisposition and environmental factors. No, it's not. It's not believed to stem from anything. It's not real. Some theories propose that abnormalities in the brain's temporal lobe and the way it processes time-related information may contribute to the development of CCD. Treatment: therapeutic approaches for CCD include cognitive behavioral therapy to help individuals develop coping strategies for managing time-related difficulties, mindfulness techniques to promote present moment awareness, and psychoeducation to provide patients with a better understanding of their condition. No, they don't. They don't receive any of those treatments because this isn't it's not a real thing. It's not a real condition. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these symptoms, like really misunderstanding time, struggling to track time, all of that kind of thing, they can be real symptoms in other disorders that have treatments, but it's not ChronoConundrum disorder because it's not real. And then we get some flags, right? Post-sexual fear regression disorder, or PSFAD, a medically unrecognized disorder, a made-up disorder, an MUD, where a person becomes extremely aggressive towards a sexual partner after sexual activities due to illogical fear or terror. Symptoms may include extreme fear or terror after intercourse, yelling at, harming, or otherwise threatening sexual partners, pain or discomfort during intercourse, pain in the genitals outside of sexual activities, amnesia towards the aggression and/or events prior. This disorder often comes after trauma, but not always. This disorder can be linked to plurality and can coexist with a system member causing the aggression amnesia. And they've even got a flag. These are real symptoms of real conditions. Once again, a lot of these are symptoms of traumatic disorders. Also, I'm gonna be real, the whole amnesia towards the aggression and/or events prior just sounds like this person making excuses for being horrible, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, if they have real disorders, you can legitimately have disorders that cause amnesia, cause you to have blackouts and shut out memories. But this is a made-up disorder, so there's none of that. Now, if you have any of these symptoms, get help. Talk to someone about it, okay? Because you should not be feeling pain during intercourse, First of all, that can be for a multitude of reasons. One of them can literally just be not enough foreplay, but you shouldn't be feeling pain. And also you shouldn't be feeling pain outside of it either. And that can be symptoms of other actual problems, okay? Along with fear of it or after it, yelling and lashing out as a result to it, and amnesia are all real symptoms of real disorders. Are you understanding the trend yet? Are you seeing why this is harmful? I'm still gonna break it down after this, but right. This is the one that inspired the video. This is the final one, but there's a lot of parts to this, and this is what inspired me to make this video in the first place, okay? Because this is the real cherry on top made up disorder. This user is a Pluralet. This blog is specifically centered around plural singlets, plurality of all kind, inclusivity, and the furthering of plural support and experiences. We will sometimes post discourse for the purpose of highlighting the faults in the arguments we all have. It will be tagged appropriately. Pluralets. Definitions. A plural singlet or pluralet is a singlet who is plural in one way or another. This may mean that they are fragmented as one person, their plurality spikes, or that they aren't fully either one. Plural and single directly contradict each other. You cannot be a plural singlet. You can't. This is the level it's got to. This is what has happened, okay? This is the result of fakers. I've made all of these videos and I've had so many comments saying they're not hurting anybody, they're not doing anything wrong, they're just kids, let them fake. You can't prove they're faking. This is the result. The result of all of those fakers going unchecked in the last year where I've made no videos on this. The result is they're making up disorders. Plural singlets. We are pro-endo, so not pro-science then. Recovery/para, PD, radqueer, transsex, queer, etc. Because none of these things inherently break the law or incite violence against a race, species, or gender or ability. But being pro-endo is ableism. That's ableism. That actually is ableism, unlike what a lot of these people claim to be. Anyway, it carries on. We probably know a little more than you. Please don't argue with us just because you want to stir up issues. You do not. We probably know more than you is the most arrogant statement that someone making up a disorder could have ever put forward. If you Google Pluralet, this is the only the only Tumblr account that comes up. No Wikipedia articles, no reports, no scientific studies, no examples of people actually having this condition, just this Tumblr account. We probably know more than you. Yeah, no, you... I've made like 7 of these videos prior to this, doing research into disorders, having comments where people have educated and taught about these real things. Making up a disorder and going, I know more than you. I mean, of course you know more than me about this disorder because you made it up. That's like me creating a D&D world and going, well, I know more about my D&D world than you. Yeah, I made it up. Some plural singlets don't exist, may deal with dysphoria about not being a system. It always comes back to that, doesn't it? Just wanting to be someone with a disorder, not having it and fantasizing about being it. By definition, plural singlets are singlets, not systems. But by label, we can choose to have whichever label we want that makes us comfortable. It doesn't matter that you are a plural singlet. If you want to be a system and grow, go ahead, we love you. So you're just saying, we don't have DID, we are not plural, we are singlets, but we're gonna call ourselves plural anyway. You don't have a disorder. Or, well, maybe you do. Maybe you actually have a disorder, but that's endemic of a whole nother issue. And this whole making up a disorder and identifying it is probably a big part of a real issue that exists. Can you have an example of being a singlet but having plural experiences? Well, there are many cases. They are usually having another side of yourself that internally helps, having a headspace that is taken care of by you, having a headspace that is taken care of by NPCs who are not considered headmates or plural, having people in your headspaces that aren't headmates, having soul bonds who aren't plural headmates, having animal companions in your headspace but not as headmates, having metaphysical layers of yourself, hearing voices in your mind that live separate lives than you and may or may not appear in headspace, simply identifying as a singlet despite being plural or having plural experiences. Most of what was just described there is imagination. Now, to people with real DID, headspaces and headmates are what is described as having DID, right? That's described as they have multiple people that live within their mind, and those are the other people. That's what makes it a plural, right? What this person has described is not real people, like NPCs that live in an imaginary world in their head. It's just having an imagination. These people don't go outside. Genuinely, the state of faking disorders on TikTok has gotten to a point where having an imagination is being called a disorder that is being made up on Tumblr and on TikTok. But it gets even wilder, okay? They now talk about projecting these headmates, these made up imaginary friends, into objects and then leaving them there. Once again, that's called having an imagination. That's called projecting a personality, an imagination onto an object, okay? That's something that a lot of kids do with all of their toys. I'm losing my mind. This whole thing is what inspired this video. We are not a system due to trauma, but we are plural. There it is. There's no trauma. The key thing in a traumatic disorder is it's trauma related. And these fakers, whether they're faking real disorders or making them up, love to pretend you can get them without trauma, because then it validates their faking, because anybody can get it. You don't need trauma. The way we communicate is through metaphysical telephone lines. These lines are metaphysical, meaning that they are experienced within the inner world. I can hear their voices internally, and we can put each other on hold or hang up. I am a singlet who functions through plurality. I do not have them living within my head, nor am I living in their head. We all live in a separate mind palace shared through metaphysical means. It just means that we don't have each other in our mind, but we share a home that we can mentally think and visualize through, like a shared paracosm. This is where it comes back to the weird paranormal superpowers. We can communicate through metaphysical telephone lines to people that aren't even in our own heads. Wow, you just want a superpower, but you want to pretend it's real by making it a disorder. Just admit that. Just admit that you're playing pretend, you want to pretend to have a superpower, but don't want to admit that, so you're pretending it's a disorder. The final page is, yeah, we are all singlets that share a mental palace and communicate with each other through such. It seems impossible, as most people would see that as just plurality, but plurality is identifying as two or more people / facets, etc. My Pluralet experience is similar to mediums, familiar spirits, and spirituality. They are close to plurality, but not related to plurality through being more than one. Made up. It's made up. It's made up. And now it's time that I talk about the very real issue with this, okay? The thing that makes this actually genuinely harmful. This is dangerous for a multitude of reasons, but the primary one is that making up disorders and spreading them online is a direct replacement for seeking an actual diagnosis or treatment. Many, if not all of these fake disorders have very real symptoms, okay? That people that might have those symptoms will see and go, oh, I must have the Pluralet syndrome, or I must have Fate syndrome, or CCD. When the reality is, if you have symptoms like this, you probably have a very legitimate, real disorder that you actually need to talk to someone about. Some of the symptoms in that, like vomiting blood, are things you actually need to see a doctor about and not read a Tumblr account saying, this is not a medically recognized disorder. Whoopsie. This is going to stop people looking for actual treatment. It's the same thing as self-diagnosing. It can never be the last step. You have to, even if you self-diagnose, you have to see a medical professional, get a second opinion, and find out real things, okay? Faking disorders could have been argued that it was harmless. And at the very least, if someone thought they had a real disorder, even if they didn't, they could find ways of dealing with that and coping with that that were actual help. But these are made up. These are not even made up by people with actual medical training. They're just made up by people on the internet who make up treatments and things that help. That's dangerous and harmful, and there is no possible way you can swing that as, oh, it's just a harmless thing they're doing. And I will maintain that even faking regular actual disorders is harmful and has led to this. This is what that's led to. This is the harm that's causing. This can result in actual harm to people, both bodily harm, mental harm. If you suffer from any of the symptoms in this video that has been mentioned in any of these disorders, talk to an actual medical professional. I implore you. This is harmful. This is dangerous. These need to stop. This is fake disorders going way too far. My other videos were nothing compared to this. I didn't want to return to this subreddit because I didn't feel I needed to. There was nothing more I could add. But now that this is a thing, now that they're making up disorders, I might have to do more videos on this. If there are more of these coming out, I'm gonna have to do more videos on this. It's dangerous. It's harmful. That's it. That's all I have to say. Now, before I end, I very much need to mention, do not seek out any of the accounts shown in this video. I haven't shown any of their names, but I imagine it's not hard to track down a lot of them. Like Tumblr posts, you search up the wording in the Tumblr post, and the Tumblr post comes up. Do not harass any of the people in this video. Do not go after any of the people in this video. I do not agree with what they were doing. I think what they are doing is harmful, but I don't want witch hunts. I don't want people going after people. I don't want people hunting them down or harassing them or doing anything like that might result for making a video like this, okay? And with that, I'm going to end the video. This has actually been quite a long one, and it's been a long time coming, I think. The last video I made on this was like over a year ago, I think. So yeah, I've been avoiding this. I've been putting this off, but here we are, I guess. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. Tell me what you think down below. Do you think that this is as harmful as I do? Do you think that I'm overreacting? Do you think this is worse than I think? I would love to hear what you guys have to think, especially because there are people that are really educated in this kind of thing. So hearing those opinions, I'd love to hear it. So let me know. Special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support me. You make videos like this possible. Thank you to everyone that supports me. You are all incredible, wonderful, amazing people. You pay my electricity bills. So thank you so much. It means a lot. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.